This is Juan Marshall, Pro Am Fight Talk. I'm here with Junior, the Golden Boy, Don Hollingsworth II. You guys, you normally recognize him being around most of the Keystone bouts and cars that they throw at Rosecroft. You see him sometimes testing the ring out, shadow boxing up in there sometimes. But today we're going to talk about something that I recognize that he knows a lot about boxing aspects outside of the ring and also inside the ring, because he knows a lot of these guys in the area. And we're going to start talking about basically the fighters in the area and what they do and how they go about doing it and how they look. Basically, you know how they do in the ring, right? Yeah. You know how they do. So you can commentate on that a little bit. But we're going to start off with a fight that happened July 29th. It's Jeremy Trussell. You know, he had one loss going before he came into this fight.
Very early in his career.
Yeah, and now he suffered his second loss with the second round stoppage from Fred Jenkins of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So what about that? What you see in Jerome? I'm sorry, Jeremy Trussell. That sometimes he can you think he can figure it out so he can straighten it up?
This is kid who has all the intangibles. You know, that Baltimore toughness about him. If this is one thing that needs to be duly noted, is if this was back 30 years ago or so, it'll be okay. He has 2 losses. I see how he. These days, it's so built up about you got to have a 0 on your record that these guys get looked at a certain way instead of looking at their intangibles as a fighter. How when I was a little kid at Old Hillcrest, Tom Broner and those guys used to teach me. Sometimes you don't know what he really is until he gets hit, until he loses. Then how he's gonna bounce back. Is he gonna fall into shambles or because he thinks that he's too pretty to lose? This kid he's strong. I've seen him progress. He's not, one of them 2 cute fighters thinking, oh yeah, I'm winning because I'm not. No, he always wants to progress. He's always humble. He carries himself like a champion in and out of the square. And it's just something that happened. From what I hear, he got caught with a body shot and then got touched upstairs right after the body shot. I haven't seen the tape, but this is a kid who's always in top shape, always hungry, takes care of his body. So the only thing I could think of is he got caught cold. It's just something that happens. That people don't understand that, because people in this, especially in this city, in the world, but in this city, swear that they're boxing fans, swear that they're upstanding, they ride for their fighters. But as soon as they lose, they're quick to talk about somebody when you really don't know nothing about the sport. You don't have the guts to get in there with a Jeremy Trussell or many other fighters that get talked about in this city. It's something that happens, and he's going to recover and be great.
So, okay, moving on. We're going to go to recent August 1st, last night. ESPN card.
Yeah,
we had five locals on that card, 2 actually televised. So let's start off with the untelevised bouts with the strong Phil Jackson Benson. 14-1, 13 knockouts. And he fought that night at 180 weighed in. Normally he would fight at 168. So what does that tell you about him?
He can fight at 68. He can fight at 75. He's still going to carry those legs. He's going to carry that power right along with him. If anyone who don't know, this guy's been kept in the dark a little bit. I've watched him and known of him since the amateurs. This guy, if you don't know who Big Phil is, if you don't know who this guy is, you could go back to his blue and gold days. Everybody knew the David J who beat cancer, the Daniel Jacobs who beat cancer, the guy who was out there was the Golden Boy down there. Phil got in there, didn't care, and went right at him. This boy turned pro. He's been a little sheltered. This guy, I done been around so many fighters. When I say this boy can hit, this boy can hit. I've had different fighters tell me they're sparring with him with pro headgear, because you might upgrade your headgear when you turn pro. So you're wearing the bigger, puffier ones, fighting ones, winning ones, stuff like that. And you're winning Reyes 18 ounces or 18 winning gloves. Really puffy, protect your hand gloves, and weigh you down for 6-7 rounds. These guys said Man, you ever seen Jesus? Man, this guy hit me and I stepped back and all of a sudden I hear this ooh in my ears. And these are the guys that are telling me this are the sharpest prospects coming out of here. They know that this guy is going to be something. Now he's down with Al Heyman. He's going to be a problem for guys like Andre the Real, guys like that. They're going to have to take a serious punch from this guy, and he can box.
Okay, let's go on to Gervonta Davis. Now 8-0 with 8 KOs. Last night, first round TKO over Hector Lopez.
Tank is hungry more than anything. You know, you can look into his eyes, and you just look at. I always talk going to look in the man's eyes. Look at any person's eyes, you can read them. And you look at that kid, you see everything he might have gone through in Baltimore just to get to this point. And when he trains, I won't say when he fights, but when he trains, you see this look like it was a documentary on the Bad Boy Piston. They was talking about Dennis Rodman. They said he played like he was running away from something that he didn't want to go back to. And it's kind of how I look at Tank when he fights. But when he trains, it's more, I'm not going back to that. And he's so sharp and smooth, and it's just another stepping stone. It's not much to speak about last night. It's just another stepping stone to where this boy gonna go.
Okay, let's go to the third fighter from that night. It's David Grayton. Call him Day Day.
Day Day.
He's 9-0, 8 KOs. He got his second round TKO over Eddie Cavola. I'm sorry.
Day has boxing in his blood. Decorated amateur. Hard hitter. It come from that headbanger style, that 6-inch style. Everything's tight. That jab extends, you slide over. Everything is crisp. Slide over when every time another guy punches, there's an opening. So that 6-inch, the headbangers are known for being able to stay right there. Nardo gangs to even little C, all those amateurs, that 6-inch slip over, boom, boom, and Damon as well. He's progressing very well. He's taking his time. He's learning, and he's gonna keep progressing very well. He's got a lot to come from him.
And also, when you was talking about the sparring,
that's what it is.
All right, let's go to the fourth fight on that ESPN card. Emmanuel, his undefeated record was kind of threatened last night up until the end of that 6th round.
Emmanuel, I never got a chance to meet him. I've seen him fight a lot in the amateurs. He fought Gary Allen Russell. He fought he gave Allen pretty good work too. Slick guy, but last night it made it a little more difficult than it needed to be. We already know Mexican fighters, they tough, they coming forward, they'll take 8 to land 1. We already know this already. And he didn't do it on purpose, don't get me wrong. But when he walked up, it took his time, and that right hand was on the money every time, early the first round. But I think that he was like, this guy on my level, and it started, he went for the kill, but he didn't touch the body enough to me. And when you fight an awkward fight, sometimes you get so used to a guy being so sharp and crisp that when you start seeing guys just doing this sometimes, it's like, whoa, what's going on here sometimes? Guy was awkward, but one thing that we do need to we already know that Emmanuel can look very crisp. That's not to say, oh man, he looked horrible. If you look at the fight, you take from it, the first thing, if you know what you're looking at, you're going to take from. Okay, so now you finally got cracked and the guy didn't go nowhere. How you going to act? And he sat there. He had that little side, do I want to be here? Yep, I want to be here. I want this.
He changed it into a totally different fight. He proved that he can withstand a punch and persevere and be able to knock his opponent out, which he did.
What else? Behave. Exactly. Like a fighter. And he did his job. And then he didn't only just get up like that. Oh man, he hit me. I'm about to go and just start banging and sliding in. No, it was, okay, I'm about to slide in, touch out, slide out. And then it went to, okay, let me get on my bicycle a little bit because he can't find me. Boom, I need this. And then set it up beautifully. Walked right into it, stopped the show. He handled himself like a champion. That's how that fight is going to really help him further into his career.
Alright, now the last fight, the main event fight. Thomas Top Dog Williams facing a veteran, Gabriel Capillo. out of Spain.
Um,
Talk about that one.
Gabriel I didn't like that fight when I heard it got made. I know Top Dog Pre. I know his father very well and his uncles very well. I didn't like that fight when it got made because if anyone knows who Gabriel Campillo is, it's a guy you kind of avoid, and he's late in his career. So you want to get that ex-champion or that gatekeeper on your record, but this is not the guy. You know, he's rangy, long jab, awkward. And if you watch the tape that will give you a red flag that he shouldn't be fighting him, it should be when he fought Tavares Cloud. Tavares Cloud cracked him and dropped him. And he fought like he was scared to death of Tavares Cloud when he got cracked. He was like he was waiting to get hit by that power to see what he was dealing with. He got up and he beat the slop out of Tavares Cloud for the next 11 rounds. And he didn't get the decision, but we all know he won. But when I saw that, I thought, oh man, I don't know. This is going to be a real learning experience. And I want to say this directly to Lil Top. You did something so honorable. You felt like you owed Teddy Atlas something. You really couldn't hear what you said, but I'm pretty sure you've always been an upstanding guy as long as I've known you. And what you did there, Teddy Atlas said something that's right. You should not at all feel any type of way about letting him down there. You carried yourself like a fighter. You carried yourself like a man's man. And what you're going to do is, because you have all of this built in you from your pedigree to your experience, you're going to take this, you're going to learn, you're going to adapt like you always done. And you're going to behave like a fighter like you've been doing. You're going to continue to progress. And it's just on to the next. You're just going to relax and rest. Alright?
It was the stepfather of Williams, Robert Peterson, asked for him. Get yourself together. Just get yourself together and show that you can still be a champion. And you didn't let me down. You didn't let me down. But listen, you got to worry about yourself. You got to worry about your family. You got to worry about who you are. And now's the time to find out who you are. You know, now you didn't let me down, Thomas. Not as a person, but as an athlete, what you did tonight, what happened to you tonight, other great athletes, other great fighters, that's happened to them before. And what they do now, what they start doing tomorrow, that's what's going to tell. Don't let yourself down. All right? Pull yourself back up, because that is the testing of a man. That's the testing of a champion. What you do after this, what you learn from this, what you do from this moment on.
All right, we got a short notice on a bout that's coming up. We got Brandon Quarles. He's 13-2-1 with 5 KOs. He's going up to Carlton, I guess Minnesota, fighting a junior middleweight 8-round bout against Corey Rodriguez. What you think about that?
I never heard of Corey Rodriguez. Usually I know a lot of opponents, but we've gone up there to ABC to get sparring. You know, me and other Keystone fighters. They show a lot of love at ABC gym. I want to put that out there. Brandon Quarles is always good amateur. I think this should be a good showcase fight for him, and I think he needs that. I mean, he had a real rough loss to Daquan Arnett. It was a sloppy fight, you know. Both of them were doing, you know, some things. I think that he's going to be a great, solid pro, in my opinion. You know, I think that this is the fight that he needs and deserves to really. He's gotten a lot of offers, though. The thing that people forget is it's not like, oh, now he's getting a showcase. He gets a lot of offers, but he's not thirsty to go after. He takes like, okay, chest move, you know. I think that he's gonna go in there. He's gonna show exactly what he's made of, what ABC Gym produces, you know. And I think he's gonna be fine. He's gonna keep progressing his career. He has a long career ahead of him.
And I think he will also at the Tony Jetter's location up there, Club One Fitness, working out also. So we would definitely want to mention that. So, you know, the Showtime bouts he had, and, you know, with George Peterson, I'm pretty sure he has a lot to do with that. At that point, you think he was at the point where they thought he was ready to turn the corner, but he came up short in those 2 bouts. And it's probably it's almost like a short rebuilding time for him.
Yeah, it happens, and I mean, let's just be real. You got a lot of up and coming pros that wouldn't dare fight someone with 1 loss or no losses or 2 losses for that matter. And he gladly fought Daquan. He gladly fought anybody they put in front of him. He beat most of them, you know. And some guys don't want to take fights with him. Let's just call it what it is here. And I think that it could be a short rebuilding stage. It wasn't a horrible. None of his losses were horrible. Let's get this clear. It wasn't no horrible losses. It was just a few 4 points here. Wasn't a clear cut. Yeah, hey, it happens. Could be politics. This boy's young. He ain't even cracked. How old is he? He hasn't even cracked 30 yet. This boy hasn't even cracked his late 20s yet. Yeah, this boy gonna pick. He's a good volume puncher, great body puncher. Sometimes he smothers a little too much, but good body shots, pinpoint shots. Knows how to come back upstairs with it and finish the guy. So it's gonna be fun.
Of course, August 9th, New York City, Barclays Center. We got 3 more Beltway fighters up there. One of the biggest names on that card is Lamont Peterson, along with his brother Anthony Peterson. But one of the newer professional fighters that are coming through the Beltway boxing area is Demetrius Ballard, who started off signed with GoldenBoy Promotions.
They're moving him up real nicely. Him and Lamar Rojo are stablemates. They're moving him up real nice. Taking his time, not rushing him. He's learning. He's adapting more to being a pro. Has more than enough amateur experience and background. It's just another step for him. You know, we ain't gonna do no real talking about him for another 15 fight.
Another fight on that card, of course, the younger brother of Lamont Peterson, Anthony Peterson.
Yeah, Anthony, he's about to make his run. I don't know if he was like, you know what, big bro, I'm gonna let you get yours now. Now it's my turn to go. But he came back from he has 1 loss, and the only loss was against Bam Bam, and that was a war where he got caught in the middle of an exchange, got up and still dogged it out.
And he was undersized in that fight.
Yeah, you know, he dug deep in that fight. Yeah, that's a loss where you look at it as, okay, we see what he's made of. And you know, he's taking his time, come out spot, stay fresh. He's never stopped training. Never stopped training. He's always stayed in dog shape. And now he's going to continue to make his run. He came out on ESPN and he basically worked on stuff that he worked on in the gym. That's basically what he did. You know, so he's going to keep on moving forward.
You know, on that Barclays Center card, co-main event, Lamont Peterson versus Edgar Santana, 29-4. What do you see in that fight? What you think caused that matchup?
I mean, it's politics. It's boxing. They're setting this up. Alright, let me get this. I always respect any guy who puts the gloves on, so let me just go so people don't think that I'm trying to be sly. Edgar Santana has a good record, solid record, 29-4. He's fought some credible guys, and he can fight, and he will give Lamont some rounds. But we all know it's the politics of it. Who's the main event? Who's the main event? Danny Garcia. What weight class they in? The same weight class. They're doing this to make it a showcase. So both of these guys, you guys show out, you do good, get some rounds in, stay fresh, stop your guys if you can, later rounds, because the guys probably can't hold up with you. You know, and then they get a good payday, and then they get the experience too, and they fight well, get to come back, and they have that on their resume. And we're going to build a big pay-per-view. Maybe we could put this on the Maidana Mayweather card and the undercard. You know, Mayweather doesn't mind throwing out that money for his undercards. You know, that's what it is. That's what this setup is.
Now, upcoming bout, September 6th, Adrian Problem Boner against Baltimore's Emmanuel Taylor.
Okay. It's either going to be one or two type of fights. This is going to be hellish boring. Or
boring why?
They both fight similar. Like, they both walk up and they sit up just like this. and they sit in the pocket, they catch, they pull, they take their time, and then when they shoot their shots, it's catch, catch, and they take one shot at a time. If it's like that, it's gonna be a take forever fast, and then it's in Broner's hometown, so the decision is gonna go there. We already know Manny's history. Manny can fight. Manny is in top shape. He can pick it up when he wants to. But his 2 losses that he has, you can maybe say he lost because he didn't do enough. He didn't pick it up enough. If he takes it to Broner, and I believe he'll be in better shape and he has a better punch output than Broner, he might wind up really taking it to him, making this a very, very hard fight. But if not, then we're just going to watch them staring at each other, saying, here, I threw my right, now you throw yours.
All right, September 12th. Back to one of the top promoters, actually the top promoter in this area, Keystone Boxing. You know, at Rosecroft, they're going to put on another card. And just summarize every card they put on up until this card coming up September 12th.
I could start with when they were at the convention center, when it was Dusty is the co-main event, Tyron as the main event. You had Ivan Ziegler, who's always a crowd pleaser, and he represents the city well, you know, like that. All the way up till now, you know, he's moving these prospects up to where they're getting their feet wet, and then he throws them a curveball where they're going to have to really push themselves to pro, find out what they're made of. You know, and you got any of the guys. You got Swift Jerry Hurd, Greg Newby. When Greg Newby, when he fought PJ Cariguas, you go ask Mike Reed when he fought
Gill.
Yes.
Mrs. Gill.
When he fought those guys, like they have to dig deep, you know, and he's making it the last 3 cards, I believe, standing room only. I mean, it was every seat was filled. You had some guys that had to stand up, get their seats to women. It's going to be a packed card.
Last thing. Let's talk about how large this community is as far as the talent of fighters that we have in this area.
Rich in heritage.
And how important it is to support each other, because without each other, this area would be nothing. Let's talk about that.
I mean, this city is... We held, I think I was probably 8, 9 years old. We held every belt. We held, not every belt, but we had the most of the belts than any other state or something like that. I mean, you have so many guys that, you know, DMV is the first one to speak up, man. He need to represent for us and represent the city, you know, but we tear each other down at the same time. I done seen it happen since I was a little kid up until now, and it's never going to change. It happened when I had kids. It's going to happen the same way. Albuquerque, they take care of it. They look after their fighters. Canada, they look after their fight. David Lemieux lost, and people was knocking on his door, giving him food. Are you good? You all right? You know, here it's a little more dog eat dog. You're going to have people that, you might have this radius of people that love you. You're going to have some people who are going to pay to see you lose. And you got great fighters from here. Lamont Peterson, Ty Barnett. I'm going to tell it like it is, and those guys know me well. Hey, Ty Barnett used to babysit me, so I'm going to tell it like it is. Ty Barnett gives everything to this city. Like, people know that, you know, Dusty wears the DC flag, but we were known first for wearing the camouflage and the cut up trunks. That's what we started that trend, you know, and that's how we represent it. And Ty Barnett falls into that category, that upper echelon of guys. And he puts on for the city, and people looked at him, like, looking for him to lose and be jealous of a guy like that. When that man right there, good man, Mr. Lamont, he fought for world title. He negotiated the contract to come here and fight the convention. You know how difficult it is to pull that off, and he's not the one with the belt. It's not even his promotional card. And when he did that, people were saying he's going to lose, or I got him getting knocked out by 6. And then all of a sudden when he's winning, you want to stand up and cheer. I got to be better than the next man. We know it's us against whatever. Instead of it being, you know, it's a brotherhood, camaraderie, and a sisterhood. You have great female fighters as well here. Instead of it being, you know, like for instance, I think it was at the Monument, you had No Excuse versus Hillcrest. You know, you had Barclays over here, you had So over there, it's like a great picture of Ross Milivinsky. I call him Uncle Ross. He took it, and you see Swift like this, like, oh man, I gotta try to, and both of these guys were evenly matched and everything, but it's all love. It's not like that sometimes. Sometimes it's us and, forget everybody else. And I remember going to some of those workouts, going to when Old School was on top of the Crab House down Branch Avenue. Man, it was every Wednesday, every Saturday. You went to work, it was so much love, man. We in there tight. I mean, you walk in, it felt like club love on the second floor, just body heat, just all body heat, but it was all love, man. My guy gets to work. Oh man, I appreciate you guys helping my guy. It was so much love. The Annapolis guys would come down, the boxing team, they would come down here. Man, it was so much love and camaraderie. But sometimes it's just, I don't like this guy, and it'll be for some of the most dumbest reasons. Another guy cannot like this other guy, like acting like they in a hair salon. And it's sad, because this city is so rich in heritage, and you got so many other countries and states that stick together for their fighters.
And I think, I think personally it comes down to the adults, that it trickles down to the kids.
Yeah.
The adults have personal vendettas against each other.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, one may have did this to one. At that moment, they just turned on them for a lifetime, basically. Yeah. It's like no matter what they do, I'm never going to support this guy. I don't care if he has 2 world champions at his gym. I'm not going to go there. I don't care if
work.
Exactly. I don't care what happens. He can have the best sparring going on at his gym. I'm not going to go over there.
And I've heard this. Of course, when we find what you to beat them, don't hold nothing. You understand? I've seen again today. It could be a 10-year-old. Man, we ever spar them. We go to Old School and this all the guys. You better not hold back. Now I want you to destroy this kid. I done heard it. Man, if you 8 counting, you better get every shot you can in until that rep breaks up for that 8. I mean, I've heard it all. I've seen it, almost all of it. When I was a little kid, it was more of a camaraderie. I remember being 8, 9, 10 years old. Ty Barnett was 15, getting ready for the Mayor's Cup. Daryl Coley's getting ready for Oscar. James Baker coming down, the great James Baker coming down to get sparring from undefeated Ernesto Rodriguez, Uncle Nesto, and those guys sparring. Then Baker would work with Ty Barnett. Like, it was so much, love and camaraderie. Like, people was backing Daryl, before he went to go fight Oscar. I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. It needs to stop. And I'm expecting, okay, all right, he ain't gonna show no up. But then when I see that fighter coming up, like Joe paying this dude, hey, how you doing? Then all of a sudden I see that person going, hey, what's on? I'm like, oh, for real? You switching up like that? I mean, is it that serious? If that's the case, just don't be bothered with the guy. Just say, hey, keep it moving, but you don't sit there and just be real two-faced on the guy. But really, you always have that competition. Some of it is stupid drama. Some of it is, this guy did something, so I had to leave the gym. But mostly what it really is the fans. I've experienced stuff all the time since I didn't seen guy. I remember being 11 years old, 12 years old. I ain't gonna mention the fighter's name, but he fought, and then his boys were talking about, like, we're laughing at him. I didn't seen guys. Funny thing is, I done seen recently, a few months back, I'd probably say last year, had it been this guy's. He was early in his career. He hadn't even broke 5 fights yet, 6 or 7 fights yet. And the people that he had come to the fight, it was a tough fight. He was winning it, but you could tell, like, he really had to push himself to get the win. And rightfully so. But they're squeaking and giggling a little bit. But the people who were squeaking and giggling, they wasn't trying to do it near some of the people that they knew would wind up turning to them like, oh, for real, like, they were kind of doing a slide. I mean, these people, they don't understand, knowing what these guys go through, what you're doing to yourself. Just in boxing, you got guys who want to be world champions, but sometimes really about boxing is about, I have a talent in this, I have a great talent in this, get out with my marbles. And like I say, you got Lamont Peterson, upstanding gentleman, mild-mannered gentleman. And I always looked up to him ever since the platinum gloves when I was little. And I saw him for the first time. You know, and he dealt with, when he fought Amir Khan, he wanted to fight here, knowing you know how difficult it is to get an England fighter like to do that or something, or not get it in Vegas. He got it at the convention center because he knew he was gonna put on a show. And the whole time leading up, I'm training. All I hear is, man, he getting knocked out 6, 7 rounds. And they asked me, and I said, what they said, Junior, what do you think? I said, I got Lamont getting, he has an Evander Holyfield mentality. He's going to try to box, he's going to use that 6-inch leg, he's going to shoot that sharp jab. When Amir Khan starts that box, moving around and touching, the fight went exactly how I said it was going to. Once he start that boom boom and running, Lamont's going to get ticked off, and he's going to start walking him down and try to go straight headbanger style and bang him out. That fight went exactly the way I said it was going to go. And, nah. I said, if he loses, it's going to be that he can't catch up with Amir Khan. But people was talking about, oh, he's going to get knocked out. I don't got to go past 6 or 7. And same thing with the Tim Bradley fight. It's like, you don't know nothing of what it takes just to, you train for 12 weeks, 8 weeks minimum to get ready for something that's going to last less than a half an hour, 36 minutes at the most. And you were pissing your pants if you had a Ty Barnett standing across from you. Another guy who represents this city very well. You know, he always been his little guy since 7, 8 years old. And he always been real cool, always just real good, cool guy. And he wanted to come home. He wanted to fight at home. And he brings these cards home. And then some chump gonna get on Anonymous. And you're gonna sit there and say these things about a guy who puts his heart and soul on the line for you with a daughter. And went all out. He has a tattoo on his forearm. And it's like death before dishonor. And he's, ever since I've ever known him, he's always lived that way. He's never been fake. He's never been a coward. He always behaved like a fighter. And he went in there and he said, I'm going all in. And he does that for this city. And he always wants to bring it back for this city. You're going to sit there, bet your amount of money, it's how you want to talk about his hairy chin chin. Bet your amount of money. Forget about 8 ounces. Let's take away the 8 ounces. Let's put on some 18s. We'll put you in a nice, cushy little headgear. Put you in a nice little cup, you know. And we'll see how long you last for them 3 minutes. I'll give you 1 round. You can't do that. Not in this city. Not when these guys putting their life out there for you. You know, you got to support these guys. Because they want to represent. Every fight I came supposed to want to represent this city well.
There you have it. From Junior to GoldenBoy. Bring you the best in Beltway Boxing. Once again.
One thing I would say always, I appreciate everything that Mr. Digital and Mr. Juan grooming me. And, you know, growing up around this sport all my life, you know, and all the love that I get. And I really appreciate it. I just want to represent you guys well, too, Clint.
And we thank you for that.